assessment roll prior to the effective date of this subdivision unless the governing body of such approved assessing unit provides by local law adopted after a public hearing prior to the taxable status date of such assessing unit next occurring after December 31st, 1983, that such paragraph shall not apply to such real property to which this clause applies. To be deleted begin. Provided further, however, real property subject to the provisions of this subparagraph shall be assessed pursuant to Subdivision 2 of Section 581 of the Real Property Tax Law. To be deleted end. Section 3, paragraph of Subdivision 1 of Section 730 of the Real Property Tax Law, as amended by Chapter 154 of the Laws of 1993, is amended to read as follows. The property is improved by a 1, 2, or 3 family owner-occupied structure used exclusively for residential purposes other than property subject to the assessment limitations of to be deleted begin. Section 581 of this chapter and to be deleted end. Article 9b of the Real Property Law or the property is unimproved and is not of sufficient size as determined by the assessing unit or special assessing unit to contain a 1, 2, or 3 family residential structure. Section 4, paragraph of Subdivision 1 of Section 1111 of the Real Property Tax Law, as added by Chapter 532 of the Laws of 1994, is amended to read as follows. Residential property means property which is improved by a 1, 2, or 3 family structure used exclusively for residential purposes, other than property subject to the assessment limitations of to be deleted begin. Section 581 of this chapter and to be deleted end. Article 9b of the Real Property Law, a parcel shall be deemed to be residential property for purposes of this article if the applicable tax roll shows that the assessor has assigned to the parcel a property classification code in the residential category, or the parcel has been included in the homestead class in an approved assessing unit, or in Class 1 in a special assessing unit. Section 5, paragraph of Subdivision 1 of Section 1113 of the Real Property Tax Law, as added by Chapter 516 of the Laws of 2010, is amended to read as follows. Residential property means property which is improved by a 1, 2, or 3 family structure used exclusively for residential purposes, other than property subject to the assessment limitations of to be deleted begin. Section 581 of this chapter and to be deleted end. Article 9b of the Real Property Law, a parcel shall be deemed to be residential property for purposes of this article if applicable tax roll shows that the assessor has assigned to the parcel a property classification code in A. 10611. The residential category, or the parcel has been included in the homestead class in an approved assessing unit, or in Class 1 in a special assessing unit. Section 6. This act shall take effect immediately. Part E. Section 1. Section 467A of the Real Property Tax Law is repealed. Section 2, subdivision of Section 11-2105 of the Administrative Code of the City of New York, as amended by Section 10 of Part LL of Chapter 407 of the Laws of 1999, is amended to read as follows. Every cooperative housing corporation shall be required to file an information return with the Commissioner of Finance as follows. Such information return shall be filed by February 15th of the year 2000 and of each year thereafter, covering the reporting period, beginning on January 6th of the year preceding the filing and ending on January 5th of the year of the filing. For reporting periods beginning before January 6th, 1999, such informa TION return shall be filed by July 15th of each year covering the preceding period of January 1st through June 30th and by January 15th of each year covering the preceding period of July 1st through December 31st provided, however, that for the reporting period from January 1st through June 30th, 1989, such information return shall be filed by July 31st, 1989. The return shall contain such information regarding the transfer of shares of stock in the cooperative housing corporation as the Commissioner may deem necessary, including, but not limited to, the names, addresses, and employer identification numbers or social security numbers of the grantor and the grantee, the number of shares transferred, the date of the transfer, and the consideration paid for such transfer. To be deleted begin. Provided, however, that if such cooperative housing corporation elects that such information return be deemed an application for an abatement pursuant to paragraph of subdivision 3 of Section 467 of the Real Property Tax Law, such return shall contain the information required pursuant to paragraph of subdivision 3 of such section. To be deleted and the Commissioner of Finance may enter into an agreement with the Commissioner of Taxation and Finance of the State of New York to provide that a single informa Tion return may be filed for purposes of the tax imposed by this chapter and the real estate transfer tax imposed by Article 31 of the Tax Law, Section 3. This act shall take effect immediately. Part F. Section 1, Section 11 to 201 of the Administrative Code of the City of New York is amended to read as follows. Section 11 to 201 Assessments on Real Property, General Powers of Finance Department. The Commissioner of Finance shall be charged generally with the duty and responsibility of assessing all real property subject to taxation within the city. The Commissioner shall determine the fair market value of real property for the purpose of taxation. Section 2. The Real Property Tax Law is amended by adding a new section 305B to read as follows. Section 305B. Determination of fair market value. In a city with a population of 1 million or more, the Commissioner of Finance of such city, A. 10,612, shall determine fair market value of real property in such city for the purposes of real property taxation. Section 3. This act shall take effect immediately. Section 3. Severability clause. If any clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, section or part of this act shall be adjudged by a court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid, such judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder thereof, but shall be confined in its operation to the clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, section or part thereof directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment shall have been rendered. It is hereby declared to be the intent of the legislature that this act would have been enacted even if such invalid provisions had not been included herein. Section 4. This act shall take effect immediately provided, however, that the applicable effective date of Parts A through F of this act shall be as specifically set forth in the last section of such parts.
Wow. Did you hear that? The Commissioner of Finance is going to give the market values of every property, even co-ops and condos. I don't know. Already they do a very, very imperfect job at that. So let's see. Bring on the lawsuits, everybody.